Let's look at the money traps to avoid in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. If you're new to the channel and want to learn how to make more money, subscribe and click the bell. That way you never miss a video. Money traps to avoid in your 20s. Number 1, never learning how to budget. For many people in their 20s, budgeting basically means they have enough to pay the bills and go out with friends on the weekends. However, there's a lot more to it than that. Knowing how to budget helps you realize where your money is going each month and how much you spend on paying off debt, bills, savings, and investing in your future. Budgeting helps you to cut back on things that aren't essential. Number 2, failing to set financial goals. If you don't have financial goals, you risk running around in circles and never really reaching true financial freedom. You need to have a goal that you can start working toward and break that goal into short-term goals that you can reach. Let's say you're currently working at a 9-to-5 job and making $80,000 a year. You might have a goal to start a side business and have 7 different streams of passive income so you can make $200,000 a year. Even though that might seem overwhelming to you now, by taking small daily steps and saving up money, you can slowly reach that goal. Number 3, ignoring student loans. People in their 20s can risk damaging their credit if they ignore their student loans and make late payments. This will make it harder for them to receive the best interest rates in the future. The best way to avoid the situation is to stay organized by knowing the total cost of the loan, the monthly repayment amount, when it's due, and where and how to submit it. Number 4, taking on credit card debt. Some debts are worse than others, and one of the worst kinds of debt is credit card debt due to the interest and fees. Credit card debt puts you in a scary cycle of high balances and minimum payments, and it can be a problem that could potentially take years to fix. Don't use credit cards unless you can pay it off in full each month. Number 5, overspending. It might seem like an obvious suggestion, but you have to stop spending more than you earn. Those designer clothes, high-dollar electronics, and luxury vacations might be tempting, but trust me, they aren't worth the mountain of debt you'll be in later. Money traps to avoid in your 30s. Number 1, taking on additional student debt. If you're wanting to change careers, then getting an additional degree may be necessary, but don't go get another degree just for the heck of it. Getting another degree just so you can add it to your LinkedIn profile and put it on your resume probably aren't good enough reasons to go back to school. People in their 30s who are thinking of going back to school need to ask themselves if they can afford to take time away from their career. Will the money you make with your post-grad salary be worth it? Number 2, not discussing finances with your partner. It's important that you discuss your financial plans with your significant other. What are their financial goals? What are their spending habits? Do they have money saved up? Money is one of the leading causes of disagreements between couples, so it's best that everyone is open and honest from the start. Number 3, conservative investments. A lot of people like to play it safe with their investments. Because people are afraid of losing money, they invest their money in certificates of deposit and bonds. People who invest in stocks earn a 10% profit on average, whereas safe investments earn you a small 2% yearly return. Of course, be smart, use your common sense, and seek out expert help from a financial advisor. But remember that making safe investments in your 30s might not do much for you in the long term. Number 4, trying to keep up with the Joneses. Trying to keep up with expensive friends and participating in social competition is a dangerous money trap. If you're always trying to have the most expensive car and the biggest house and the best looking suit, you could be in for some financial trouble. Don't spend money on a lifestyle you can't afford. True wealth isn't about how much money you spend on luxury items. Number 5, spending too much money on a house. Owning a house is a great accomplishment, but that doesn't mean that you have to overspend on one. Don't buy that $1 million home if you truly can't afford it. A larger luxury home will also come with higher utility bills, and you'll probably be tempted to spend even more money on expensive furniture. Money traps to avoid in your 40s. Number 1, spending too much money on renovations and supersizing your house. At this point, you might be growing tired of your current home. You might be tempted to pay for some expensive renovations for your bathrooms and kitchen. However, resist this urge unless you have plenty of money to be able to afford it. Many people want to add renovations in order to make their home more valuable. But remember, most renovations don't increase the value of a home as much as you might think. If you decide to add on to your house, keep in mind that having a bigger home means higher maintenance costs and higher electric bills. Number 2, prioritizing your children's education over your retirement savings. All parents want their kids to have the best education. You might want them to get into the top-notch private school, but don't start sacrificing your retirement savings to make this happen. Not setting aside enough money now for your retirement will only make things more difficult in the future. Sending your kids to a public school isn't the end of the world. And if you do have your heart set on a specific expensive school, then ask yourself how you can do both. How can you save for retirement and get your kids into that school? Maybe you'll have to start a side hustle, take on an extra job, or be more strict with your savings. Number 3, being complacent in your career. Most people in their 20s and 30s are aggressive with their goals and their careers. However, once you're in your 40s, you can lose that drive and start to become complacent. Never stop stretching out of your comfort zone. Continue to find ways to advance in your industry. Number 4, thinking it's too late to start saving for retirement. The earlier you save for retirement, the better. However, it's never too late to start. At this point, if you haven't already, start saving for retirement. Remember, the best time to start was yesterday, and the second best time to start is today. Number 5, allowing your emergency fund to fall behind your growing expenses. It is essential to have an emergency fund to help you out during unexpected difficulties. Make sure you adjust your emergency cash fund proportionally as your expenses and income increase. Before I move on to the top 5 money mistakes to avoid in your 50s, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe and click the bell. That way you'll be the first to see my next money-making video. Also, type the word yes down in the comments below if you are going to start avoiding these money mistakes. Money traps to avoid in your 50s. Number 1, thinking you can rely on the government pension. A pension may be able to provide for your basic needs during retirement, but don't expect to live comfortably. Remember, it's never too late to start saving and investing, so you can have more money later on. Number 2, not taking care of your health. Taking good care of your health is great advice for people of any age. However, people in their 50s tend to put health on the side while they focus on building a family and growing their career. Remember that investing in your health is one of the greatest investments you can make. Your health is priceless. You don't want to have to spend thousands of dollars on medical expenses when you're retired. Besides money, you want to have your health so you can enjoy yourself and live a happy life. Even if you have plenty of money and can afford all of the best medical treatment, you don't want to spend your retirement years going back and forth from hospitals and doctors. You don't want to spend your retirement years in a hospital. Number 3, panicking when stocks fall. No one wants to see their portfolio drop by 30% or more. Back in 2009, many people sold their stock out of fear after a decrease in value. Then they missed out on the market's recovery. It's important to stay calm and always focus on the long term. Number 4, not diversifying your investments. Usually, it's not a good idea to have all of your eggs in one basket. Try to have a broad portfolio of bonds, stocks, and other assets. This is less risky and will probably yield more satisfactory and consistent returns in the future. Number 5, trying to time the market. It has been proven throughout history that it is impossible to consistently time the market. Even the experts with access to all the data and research don't get it right all of the time. Keep in mind that time in the market is more important than timing the market. Pick a strategy and stick to it for the long haul. If you've been wanting to start a side hustle to make more money, click the video on the screen. Here, I'll give you 9 easy steps to start an online boutique so you can start making more money as soon as possible.